She's always been terrible with clothes and makeup, right? And her personality is just as dull as her looks. So boring. The conversation I overheard was nothing but unpleasant. When I went out for drinks with my friends, I ran into a junior colleague from my company. That colleague, Emily, was sitting silently, her head bowed. She had been the subject of mocking remarks about her appearance for some time now. Who could ever like someone like her? She's just done as a woman, isn't she? She'll probably stay single forever, or no, I bet she'll never even get a boyfriend. The others in the group laughed uproariously at the string of insults aimed at Emily. Finally losing my patience, I excused myself from my friends and walked over to her. Emily. You don't need to stay at this mixer, come with me. What? James? Her eyes, filled with tears, reflected her confusion. Hey! Who do you think you are? Don't butt in. Listening to what you've been saying is toxic. I'm taking her away. Ha! Is this plain girl your type? That's hilarious. Even in front of me, they showed no hesitation in throwing verbal abuse, completely oblivious to who she really was. Hearing that, I allowed myself a calm smile. Seems like you all don't know, so let me enlighten you. She's. What I said next left the women screaming and deeply regretting their insults. My name is James. I work for a major cosmetics company. Creating a single product is a tough process, but hearing how much customers love it makes all the hard work worthwhile. I'm fortunate to have a career where I can put my skills and knowledge to good use, and I live every day feeling fulfilled. James, about the new product. Oh, that reminds me. Oh. Emily. As I was chatting with a colleague, Emily passed by. Her name is Emily. She's 2 years my junior at work. While she's reserved and doesn't stand out much at the office, her exceptional performance has always been a great help to me. Did you finish the task I assigned the other day? Yes, I emailed it to you earlier today. Wow, thank you. You're always so quick with your work. It helps a lot. No problem. Well then. With that, she walked away. Her bangs obscured her face, making it hard to read her expression, but I thought I saw a faint smile on her lips. Emily's amazing, isn't she? Absolutely. Thanks to her, everything's going smoothly this time too. Wow, the data she compiled is so clear and easy to read. That's such an Emily thing to do. Although she's not the type to take center stage, Emily never hesitates to play a supporting role. She quietly works to ensure everything goes smoothly for everyone else. I'd say my team can function as well as it does entirely because she's part of it. I found myself watching her work silently from behind for a while. A few days later, I joined a regular drinking meetup with some old college friends. Hey, James. Long time no see. Hey there. Hey. Am I the last one to arrive? Sorry for keeping you waiting. It's fine. We just got here too. Same drinks as usual for you too? I'll go ahead and order. Once everything Isaac ordered had been laid out on the table, we each raised a mug to toast. Cheers to another good day. Cheers. Liam led the toast, and we clinked our glasses together. Clink, the light sound of glasses meeting rang out, and we took a deep gulp of our cold beer. Ah, that's good. Hits the spot. Isaac, you sound like an old man. Shut up, James. We're the same age, so that makes you an old man too. We laughed while tossing playful jabs at each other. Since our college days, these two had been smart and high-achieving, excelling in their studies. Now, they both worked for major companies and held positions of responsibility. Yet, whenever we got together, we could still talk and joke around like we used to. I genuinely appreciated having friends like them. As we sipped our drinks, we caught up on each other's lives. Hey, Isaac, is work keeping you busy? Liam asked, chewing on a skewer of chicken. Me? Nah, same as usual. Just doing my thing, Isaac replied nonchalantly. Really? I always think your job sounds the toughest. Does it? Honestly, it's no different from anyone else's. Isaac answered casually, as if it were no big deal. Okay, but more importantly, how are things in the romance department for you too? Nothing for me, Liam said, shaking his head. How about you, Isaac? Are you drowning in attention or what? Hey, Liam, was that a jab? Unfortunately, the women of the world have yet to recognize my charm. Oh, what a tragedy. Isaac dramatically pretended to cry, causing us to roll our eyes. See, Isaac, that's exactly why you're such a handful, I said, shaking my head. Isaac looked up, grinning mischievously. Oh, is that confidence I hear, James? Don't tell me something's happened with her? James, really? Is that true? Liam joined in, his curiosity piqued. What are you even talking about? Flustered, I turned red under their scrutiny. During our last meetup, I had carelessly let slip that there was someone I was interested in. Apparently, they hadn't forgotten. I regretted that slip of the tongue as their eager eyes bore into me. Nothing's happened. We just talk at work like always, I said flatly, trying to brush it off. Come on, man. You need to be more proactive, Isaac said with a frustrated sigh. I'd rather not risk ruining things if she ends up hating me, I muttered. James, that's sweet. I get it, though. At our age, it's not easy to make the first move, Liam said, nodding sympathetically. Isaac, however, seemed unconvinced. If you don't step it up, someone else might snatch her away. Isaac's words painted a vivid image in my mind. I imagined Emily laughing and chatting warmly with another man, their closeness undeniable. I instinctively shook my head to dispel the image. Yes, I was in love with Emily. When she first joined the company, I didn't think much of her beyond being my junior. We interacted as colleagues, nothing more. But as I got to know her, I began to notice her tireless work ethic, her subtle but thoughtful gestures toward others, and the shy smile she occasionally revealed beneath her long bangs. Before I realized it, my eyes would unconsciously follow her. I secretly hoped that someday, I could see her smile happily, up close, and be the reason for it. As we continued drinking, loud voices carried over from a nearby table. Curious, I glanced over and froze. Emily. She was there, sitting at a table with a group of people, their laughter echoing around the room. It was clearly a mixer, a classic group blind date. I see. Well, Emily probably goes to mixers too. She's looking for someone, huh? Seeing the woman I liked participating in a mixer was more of a shock than I had anticipated. As time passed, Liam returned from the restroom. He sighed heavily as he took his seat. Liam, what's up? I asked, noticing his expression. He frowned and explained the reason for his sigh. That table over there, they're the worst. Their conversation is disgusting. It put me in a bad mood. He gestured toward the table where Emily was sitting. They've been loud for a while, haven't they? Yeah, I could even hear them from the restroom. It sounds like the women are friends. But they've been relentlessly mocking one of them the whole time. Oh, using a friend to prop yourself up is the worst, Isaac chimed in. Listening to their words, I glanced at Emily. Perhaps because I'd heard what Liam said, or maybe just because the women were being so loud, I began to pick up bits of their conversation. This girl is so plain, both in looks and personality, so we're doing her a favor by bringing her out. But her makeup and clothes are just awful. Emily, with a face that bland, you should wear something more striking. Oh, but don't go for anything sexy, it might rip, you know? The two women burst into laughter, clearly mocking her. Emily remained silent, her head bowed. We've been giving her all sorts of advice, but you know, the baseline between her and me is just different, you know? Ha ha. Clara, you're too blunt. Sorry, Emily. I'm just straightforward like that. I say what I think. Regardless of how the men responded, the two women continued to laugh quietly, sneering at Emily. Just as Liam said, it was a vile conversation. If it had been a fun mixer, I might have been able to walk away. But there was no way I could leave Emily in a place like this. Sorry. I'll be right back, I said, standing abruptly. What? James? The girl at that table, she's a junior colleague from my office. I can't leave her there. With that, I strode toward the table, ignoring my friend's surprise. Seriously? Then go for it. Yeah, if she's willing, bring her back here. I nodded at their words and approached Emily's table. Even as I drew closer, the ridicule directed at Emily continued. Not only is Emily plain-looking, but her work is dull too, isn't it? She's always stuck in some corner, just working on stuff, right? Well, during crunch times, that does happen. Doesn't she wear work clothes or something? I could never do such a boring outfit, even at work. She was smart in school, but in the end, this is all she could get, right? Poor Emily. The men, perhaps unable to bear the conversation anymore, tried to change the topic. So, Clara, you work at MK Company, right? That's right. We're launching a new product soon, you know? It's... Before she could finish bragging, I stepped in. Emily. Ha? James? I'm taking her with me. Emily, come drink with us instead. I gently helped her stand and guided her toward my table. The woman in the flashy, revealing dress who had been boasting moments earlier quickly confronted me. What the hell? Who do you think you are? Don't just barge in like this. I'm someone who doesn't want to leave a friend of mine in a place where all you do is tear her down. But please, go ahead and continue your little bragging session without us. Oh my gosh, are you into Emily? That's hilarious. You're such a weirdo. Say whatever you want. Come on, Emily, let's go. The two women flashed crude, smug smiles as I glanced at them briefly, then took Emily's hand and started walking away. Shrill voices followed us, but after some coaxing from the men at their table, the women seemed to calm down and lose interest. Soon, their voices faded. James. Emily, I know this might seem like meddling, but those aren't real friends. You should cut ties with them. I'm sorry. You don't need to apologize. If anything, I'm the one who was too forceful, sorry about that. No. Thank you. Let me introduce you to my friends. They're good guys, so don't worry. When I smiled at her, Emily seemed to give me a faint smile in return, or so I thought. When we returned to the table where Isaac and Liam were waiting, they greeted us warmly. Emily, this is Isaac and Liam. We've been friends since our college days. So you're James's junior at work. You had a rough time back there. Are you feeling okay? The two of them spoke kindly to Emily. Thank you. It's nice to meet you. I'm Emily. James has been so helpful to me at work. And I'm sorry for barging in on your gathering like this. Emily bowed politely, her manners impeccable. Don't worry about it. Let's have a good time here. Yeah. You can sit next to James, okay? Here's the menu. Thank you. With Emily joining us, we started drinking together. So you both work for major companies? That's amazing. Come on, Emily, you work at the same company as James. That makes you just as impressive. Oh no, I'm just lucky to be there, that's all. Emily, there you go being overly modest again. I told you before, you don't need to do that. Sorry. Emily's shoulders slumped at my words. Oh. Did I come on too strong? Hey, James, take it easy. You're scaring her, Isaac teased. I am known for being kind, you know. Yeah, except you're always tough on me. That's because when I'm nice to you, you get cocky. Isn't that right, Liam? Exactly. Isaac needs the tough love. Ugh, you guys are the worst. Emily, back me up here. Emily giggled. You're all so close, aren't you? She looked genuinely amused by our banter. Good. I hoped this would cheer her up, even just a little. Hey, would you mind if we joined you? A cloyingly sweet voice interrupted our drinking session. It was the same woman who had been with Emily earlier. Your table is over there. I said coldly, brushing them off, but they didn't budge. Ugh, those guys were so boring, one of them whined. They don't even work at impressive companies, and their clothes are so cheap looking. The men at their table must have overheard their remarks. When I glanced over, I saw them looking uncomfortable, hastily gathering their things and preparing to leave. Compared to them, the woman who had been called Clara scanned us from head to toe, her eyes lingering on our clothes and accessories. The way she appraised us, as if assigning a value, sent a chill down my spine. You all seem so impressive. We'd love to get to know you better. Emily's an acquaintance of yours, right? Let us join you. I glanced at Isaac and Liam. Both wore expressions as sharp and tense as my own. But I caught a flicker of a cutting glare from Isaac toward the women. It was there for only a moment. Sorry, but drinking with crude people like you would ruin the taste of my drink. No thanks, Isaac said with a polite yet scathing smile. I'll pass too. Your perfume is so overpowering, it would ruin the food and the mood. Their words were sharp, but their faces stayed composed and calm. I feel the same. I can't stand people who hurt others and act like it's nothing. Please leave. There was no way I could forgive the two who had hurt Emily. Without even a hint of a smile, I firmly dismissed them. Having targeted us, likely thinking we were wealthy based on appearances. The two women's expressions turned sour as they realized none of us were taking the bait. What? We're gorgeous women, and we actually bothered to talk to you, and you reject us? Unbelievable. You're into someone like Emily, so obviously you wouldn't appreciate us. We were just being nice to you because you're kind of handsome. But you're clearly not worth it. Come on, Maddie, let's go. With faces twisted in fury, they spat their final words and stormed out of the restaurant, their heels clicking angrily against the floor. I'm so sorry for everything, Emily said, her voice barely above a whisper. Emily, you have nothing to apologize for, I reassured her. Exactly, Liam added. They were the problem, not you. Liam and Isaac turned to Emily, speaking gently to her. Let's stop apologizing and enjoy the rest of our night, Isaac said warmly. James, everyone, thank you. The rest of the evening went smoothly as we moved to another bar, continuing the gathering. Emily, having opened up more to Isaac and Liam, was smiling and laughing throughout. The next day, as I sat at my desk, Emily approached me hesitantly. James, thank you for last night. I'm glad you had fun, Emily. Also, I'm sorry for my friends, she said, bowing deeply. Those two so-called friends were the ones who were rude. She had done nothing wrong. Emily, I told you, you don't need to apologize for them. But are they really your friends? She hesitated, her expression turning pained. Clara and I have been friends since high school. Maddie is her colleague, and we've ended up together at gatherings like that a few times. Clara. She's always needed to feel superior. She's constantly making fun of my looks to show others she's better. And Maddie, she's just like Clara. Whenever they invite me, it always turns out like that. Listening to her, I felt my stomach turn. I'd encountered people like that before, those who tear others down to build themselves up. But to see it still happening in adulthood? but it can't be helped. I'm plain, and my figure's not great, Emily said with a sad smile. Her words made my blood boil. Emily, you're modest, sure, but you're also incredibly skilled at your job and considerate of everyone around you. People in the office trust you. The ones who laugh at others like that? They're the ones who are wrong. You need to believe in yourself more. And for the record, those two? They're not your friends. If being around them hurts you, you don't have to stay. It's okay to cut ties with people like that. Emily looked at me, wide-eyed, stunned by my outburst. Sorry, I got carried away. But, Emily, I think you should spend time with people who make you feel happy and comfortable. That's how you'll keep smiling, right? You're right. You're absolutely right. Her shoulders trembled slightly. I waited silently as she steadied herself. Thank you, James, she said, her lips curving into a soft, genuine smile. Emily's smile was truly lovely. Wait, what am I thinking? I fumbled awkwardly, which made Emily look at me curiously. By the way, Isaac and Liam said they had fun drinking with you. If you're free, how about joining us again sometime? Really? I'd love to. I'm looking forward to it. Her eyes sparkled with excitement at the suggestion, and something stirred in my chest. What's this unsettling feeling? While I stood there grappling with my emotions, Emily confidently declared, I'll do my best from now on, and returned to her desk. Her newfound determination was admirable, and yet, I couldn't ignore the strange sensation stirring in my chest. From that day forward, Emily began to change. She cut her long bangs and lightened her hair color, revealing her face. Her subtle makeup further accentuated her naturally charming features. Over the following months, she slimmed down slightly, and her wardrobe expanded to include brighter, more stylish outfits. Her transformation didn't go unnoticed. She often chatted cheerfully with other female employees about fashion, her laughter filling the office. The male employees, meanwhile, began buzzing with excitement. Emily had always been known for her excellent work and attentiveness, but now her charm had skyrocketed, making her the center of attention. I occasionally spotted her being asked out on dates. In just a few months, Emily had become a favorite among her colleagues, men and women alike. Her brightened demeanor and the uplifting effect it had on the office were undoubtedly positive. Even team productivity had increased, a welcome benefit for someone in my leadership position. But still, James, Emily, what's the rush? I'm so sorry to bother you again, but have you heard from Isaac and Liam? Are their schedules free yet? Since her transformation, Emily had become much more proactive, often asking about Isaac and Liam's availability. Her enthusiasm only amplified the unease in my chest. Well, Isaac's been pretty busy lately. He said things should calm down soon, though. I see. If it's because of work, then it can't be helped. They both mentioned looking forward to it, so if you could wait just a bit longer, I'd appreciate it. Of course. Sorry for being so persistent. I've just been so excited to see everyone again. Emily's shoulders slumped slightly as she apologized, her tone tinged with guilt. I smiled to reassure her. Don't worry about it. If they heard how eager you are, they'd be thrilled. I promise I'll let you know as soon as we finalize a gathering. Really? Thank you so much, James. I can't wait. Emily beamed before walking away, her excitement palpable. But whose smile was that for? As I pondered her reaction, a thought hit me like a bolt of lightning. Was it possible that Emily had feelings for Isaac or Liam? Could that be why she was so eager about the gathering? It all started to make sense. She started changing the day after that drinking session, I reflected, right after we promised to have another gathering. So, that's how it is, huh? Emily must have fallen for either Isaac or Liam and worked hard to improve herself to catch their attention. Her anticipation for the next gathering was driven by a desire to show them her efforts. That's how it was. This is tough to swallow. I let out a hollow laugh, unable to move from my spot for a while. A few weeks later, the long-awaited gathering finally happened. Emily and I headed to the venue together. When we entered, Isaac was already there. "You're pretty early." "Yeah, I had some errands to run." "But forget that, Emily. You look amazing. That outfit suits you so well." "Thank you. I've been working hard. It really shows. The fact that you've put in so much effort is incredible. Right, James?" Isaac's praise made Emily blush even more as she smiled bashfully. Meanwhile, I stood there, staring blankly at the exchange. "James? Hey! Don't ignore me just because you're mesmerized by Emily." Isaac's teasing finally snapped me out of my daze. "So Liam's not here yet, huh?" "He should be here soon, but let's decide what to order in the meantime," Isaac suggested. As we chatted about what to order, Liam finally arrived, and we began drinking while catching up on each other's lives. I sat quietly, nursing my drink, as Emily, Isaac, and Liam talked and laughed together. Conflicted feelings churned within me. Part of me wanted to cheer them on, but another part couldn't ignore the pang of reluctance. Noticing my distracted state, the others occasionally shot me concerned looks, but I found it hard to fully engage in the conversation. Then, just as the awkward atmosphere seemed to settle, a voice rang out. "Wait, is that Emily? No way. Did you change your look?" Two familiar faces approached our table. Clara. Maddie. It was the two women who had belittled Emily during the last gathering. I couldn't believe we were crossing paths with them again. "Oh, it's the guys from the other day." "Good evening," Clara said, flashing a coy smile, clearly still trying to win our favor. A chill ran down my spine. Reflexively, I rubbed my arms, noticing that Liam, seated across from me, was doing the same. "What's this? Did you change your look to match these guys? That's hilarious. No matter how much makeup you put on, you're still the same boring old plain Emily. You'll always be a dull girl." Clara sneered at Emily before turning her gaze to us, her smile returning. "Did you guys know? Back in school, this girl was all about studying. She didn't know a thing about trends. And she was the most boring person to talk to. Everyone disliked her." "Seriously? That's so pathetic, Emily." Maddie chimed in, laughing. Emily lowered her gaze, silent under their barrage of insults. Clara and Maddie's laughter echoed around the table. "See? There she goes again, playing the 'I'm so pitiful' card. It's pathetic. But honestly, that gloomy vibe suits you better, plain Emily." Clara scoffed, letting out a shrill laugh. "That's enough." I couldn't hold back anymore. Standing abruptly, I glared at the two women. "You'll never understand how amazing Emily is, will you? She works harder than anyone, always helping those around her. She gives her all to her work, no matter how challenging it is, and her dedication inspires everyone she meets. Her kindness and her smile have brought so much to this company and the people here. She's not just beautiful on the outside, her heart is just as incredible. If you keep insulting her, I won't let it slide." Out of breath, I realized it was the first time I'd ever shouted at someone in anger. "Wow, you're getting all worked up over this plain girl? Oh, I get it, you're into Emily, aren't you? That's hilarious. You're just as pathetic as she is. You're probably stuck in some factory job wearing overalls. You two losers are perfect for each other." Clara mocked me as well for standing up for Emily. Her remarks left everyone at the table utterly dumbfounded. Actually, James and Emily both work for Precious, the Precious. You know, the major company? Liam, unable to hold back any longer, spoke up and revealed the truth. Yeah, I've heard that before, but isn't it just some subcontractor factory job? Wearing overalls doesn't scream corporate elite. I own the entire Rose Garden series from Precious. It's so gentle on the skin, and the scent is heavenly. Maddie spoke with a dreamy expression on her face. It seemed she was a fan of our products. Seeing an opening, I decided to tell them about Emily. Emily is the one who developed the Rose Garden series, I said calmly. You've got to be kidding me. Emily works in a factory, not development. Clara stammered. She's part of our development team. The Rose Garden series was her idea, and her hard work turned it into one of our biggest hits. Her contributions have played a major role in making Precious the company it is today. And that's not all, she's also responsible for developing Irina and Kyrkos, which I'm sure you've heard of if you're into trends. Clara and Maddie were struck silent, their faces pale with shock. Sometimes Emily visits the production department, so yes, she wears overalls from time to time. But the idea that someone's worth is tied to their clothes is absurd. The people who work hard, regardless of the job, are the ones who make our lives possible. Judging others solely by appearances without showing any respect or gratitude? That's immature and disgraceful. Both Isaac and Liam nodded firmly at my words. Maddie looked down, her face flushed with embarrassment. Clara trembled with indignation. You think you're so great just because you work for a big company? Well, for your information, we work for MK Company, one of the best out there. Clara shouted, clearly grasping at straws. MK Company, a well-known enterprise, even internationally. It was a name to be reckoned with. As I glanced at Isaac, he was smiling brightly, his grin full of confidence. Seeing his expression, I realized there was nothing more for me to say, and I decided to step back. Clara, misunderstanding my retreat as her victory, leaned back smugly with a triumphant smirk. We're obviously better than you. You and Emily are nothing but small fry compared to us. Okay. May I interrupt for a second? Clara's taunting words were cut short by Isaac, who raised his hand and flashed a cheerful smile. Isaac's light-hearted demeanor caught Clara off guard, leaving her momentarily speechless. Let me see. Your names were Clara and Maddie, right? Yeah. Why? Did you finally realize how charming we are? Despite his easygoing appearance, Isaac's striking looks could command attention. Realizing that he remembered their names, both Clara and Maddie seemed pleased, smiling back at him. But then, a hint of doubt crept into Clara's expression, and she asked suspiciously, Wait, how do you know our names? Did Emily tell you? Clara turned toward Emily, but Emily quickly shook her head. How do I know? Well, I make it a point to remember the names and faces of people in my company. Oh, I forgot to introduce myself, didn't I? I'm Isaac, the son of the current CEO of MK Company, the very company you've been bragging about. But of course, since you're just temp employees who spend your time flirting and slacking off, I suppose you wouldn't know who I am. Isaac kept his smile intact as he addressed the two women. The warmth in his expression was gone, replaced by an unsettling edge that sent shivers through the room. Clara and Maddie visibly trembled under his gaze. Recently, there's been an issue with people leaking company information, and it's caused a lot of trouble. You two were at a mixer today, weren't you? Sharing confidential details like it was nothing. We've even found past posts you've made on social media. Did you not realize this was a serious violation? Well, I mean... Oh, and about the guys you met at today's mixer, I set that up. They're friends of mine. Pretty handsome, weren't they? They also gave me plenty of evidence about what you said. As Isaac spoke, their faces drained of color entirely, and their bodies began trembling. It should be interesting tomorrow. Don't bother trying to run, it won't work. You're adults, so act like it and take responsibility, okay? Standing up, Isaac leaned slightly toward them. One more thing, I won't forgive anyone who hurts my dear friends. So, leave. I've memorized your faces, but I'd rather not see them any longer. At Isaac's words, the two women let out a panicked eek before scrambling to their feet and running off in a flustered hurry. Isaac returned to his seat with a look of exasperation. Honestly, what's wrong with people these days? It's downright depressing. Isaac, you sound like an old man, Liam teased. Well, I recognized them as temps from my company a while ago, but I only recently connected them to the issues we've been dealing with. Today was just a coincidence. If they hadn't come over to bother us, I wouldn't have had to take it this far. Isaac popped a piece of fried chicken into his mouth, munching nonchalantly. Wait. Isaac, are you really the CEO's son? Emily asked, pressing a hand to her chest in surprise. Technically, I'm the next CEO. I'm still in training to take over. The reason I've been so busy lately is because I was handling issues involving those two. Sorry it took so long to plan this gathering. Emily said sincerely, bowing slightly. Not at all. I really appreciate you making time for this despite your busy schedule. Thank you so much. You're such a good person, Emily. Isaac said in an exaggeratedly kind tone, earning a laugh from her. So, she likes Isaac. Seeing her smile, I thought to myself, it's clear she's drawn to Isaac. Isaac had always been bright, intelligent, and well-liked by everyone, regardless of gender, ever since our school days. It's no surprise Emily would be attracted to someone like him, I concluded silently. If Emily and Isaac ended up together, I should be happy for them. But a tangled mix of emotions churned inside me. James, are you okay? Are you feeling unwell? Emily's concerned voice pulled me out of my thoughts. She looked genuinely worried. Unable to meet her gaze, I glanced down and mumbled, I'm fine. Though my voice lacked conviction. Noticing my unusual behavior, Liam and Isaac exchanged glances and started whispering to each other. After nodding to each other in apparent agreement, they suddenly raised their voices. Oh no! I just remembered I have to head back to the office. Same here. My parents just arrived in town, and they're waiting for me at home. Their exaggerated excuses were painfully obvious, but they began gathering their belongings in a rush. Emily, confused by their sudden departure, blinked in surprise. Wait, you too. I started to protest. Sorry, James, Emily. Here's my share for tonight. Take care of the bill, okay? Liam said, placing some cash on the table. Really sorry about this. But you two can enjoy some time together. Have fun chatting, all right? With that, they left the table, leaving Emily and me behind in stunned silence. Emily, take good care of James from now on, okay? James is such a great guy, so you don't need to worry. You two get along well, all right? With those parting words, Isaac and Liam hurried off. Left alone at the table, we sat there in stunned silence, completely bewildered. What just happened? I muttered, still processing the whirlwind exit. Then it hit me, Isaac had left. Did that mean Emily was disappointed? Panicking, I quickly turned to her. Emily, now that the others are gone, maybe we should. I was about to suggest calling it a night, thinking she wouldn't enjoy staying with just me. But before I could finish, she interrupted. James. There's something I want to talk about. Emily's voice was louder than I'd ever heard it, and it startled me. My mind began racing. Was she about to tell me she liked Isaac and wanted my help? While these thoughts swirled, her words took me by surprise. I really appreciate everything you've done for me, James. What? I've always struggled with talking to people, just like Clara said. Even at work, I couldn't ask for help when I needed it. I ended up making mistakes, big ones, like when I accidentally deleted that important data. I was completely overwhelmed, but you noticed. You came to help me when I couldn't ask for it myself. Her words brought back a memory I hadn't thought about in a long time. Emily, new to the company, on the verge of tears, looking completely lost. That was nothing. We managed to recover the data in the end. Yes, because of you. And I'll never forget what you said to me then. We're all in this together. Let's help each other and do our best. Your words and your smile saved me that day. For the first time, I felt like I belonged. That I had a place here, and that not everyone was as scary as I thought. You made me realize that. Her confession made my chest tighten. The fact that she only began to feel that way after joining the company made it painfully easy to imagine how she had been treated before. It was likely that people like Clara had been at the forefront, relentlessly chipping away at Emily's self-esteem over the years. And since then, you've always looked out for me. Watching you inspired me to do the same for others. And when you thanked me for helping out, it made me so happy. Coming to work became something I looked forward to because of you. Everything I've achieved is thanks to you, James. Her heartfelt words made me blush. Seeing my reaction, Emily hesitated before continuing. You might not have realized this, but I started dieting and learning about makeup because I wanted you to notice me. When you invited me to that first drinking session, it was so much fun. I wanted to look my best so you'd ask me again. So, I worked hard for you. Her cheeks turned red as she looked up at me, her wide eyes filled with nervous determination. Her words and expression threw my thoughts into complete disarray. Wait, did she just say for James? Did she call me someone she admires? This can't be real. Emily likes me? Unable to process it, I blurted out, wait, don't you like Isaac? Isaac? Why would you think that? Well, you seemed so happy talking to him, I mumbled awkwardly. James, she said firmly, calling my name. I looked up to see her staring directly into my eyes. I've always liked you, James. You're the only one I want to be with. Is that okay? Her unexpected confession left me frozen in place. I knew I had to respond, but my mind couldn't form the words. James, didn't you tell me you should only spend time with people who make you feel comfortable? For me, that person is you. As Emily spoke, her hands trembled slightly. I could only imagine how much courage it took for someone as reserved as her to voice her feelings like this. I searched my scrambled thoughts for the words she deserved to hear. I feel the same. I've always liked you, Emily. I love how hardworking you are, how thoughtful you are toward everyone around you. And I've always been drawn to your smile, it's my favorite thing. As I finished, Emily's eyes widened in surprise. I want to be by your side, Emily. Will you go out with me? I could feel my face burning hotter with every word. I was so embarrassed I could have fainted, but I kept my eyes locked on hers, hoping she could feel the sincerity in my heart. Emily stayed silent for a moment, and then, tears began to spill from her eyes. Wait. Are you crying? Did I say something wrong? I panicked, unsure of what to do. She let out a soft laugh, wiping her tears away. James. I'm just so happy. To hear those words from the person I care about most, it's a kind of happiness I didn't know was possible. As she said those words, she gave me the happiest smile I had ever seen. That smile was the most beautiful one I'd ever witnessed. Later, through Isaac, I heard what happened to Clara and Maddie after that night. The day after our encounter, they were summoned to a meeting with senior executives, where they were confronted about their actions. They ended up in tears, apologizing profusely. However, their conduct had caused a scandal that threatened the company's reputation, so their contracts were terminated on the spot. They were also penalized by their temp agency and subsequently fired. No one knew what became of them after that. Emily received an apology from them, but after I responded on her behalf, they never contacted her again. I was relieved to know that peace had returned to the life of someone so precious to me. Not long after, Emily and I officially started dating. When we shared the news with Isaac and Liam, they burst into laughter. Finally! It's about time you two got together. Apparently, our feelings for each other had been obvious to them from the start. They even confessed that their exaggerated departure during the recent gathering had been a deliberate attempt to push us closer. Let us handle the best man speeches at the wedding, alright? And we're definitely making a sappy, nostalgic video montage for you too. Come on, don't get ahead of yourselves. Watching them get carried away, Emily laughed, her joy lighting up the room. Cherished friends and a beloved partner. The people I want to spend my life with. I felt a deep sense of gratitude for having met them. That's why I wanted to treasure this miraculous connection. To remain someone they'd want to be with, now and in the future. As I looked at their smiling faces, I resolved to keep improving myself, to be worthy of the love and friendship they gave me.